Salah, Premier League Player of the Month for the second time this season. Stats: 32 goals, obviously 4 goals in February in 3 Premier League games, 2 assists in that time as well. Is there anything different you can say about him?
No, deserved. Obviously deserved, so that's all good. Yeah, had so far quite a good season, but a few games to come. So, and hopefully he can continue, that's all. Congratulations more.
What's been the key to his consistency?
His attitude, his character, the boys around him. There were not obvious, difficult moments, obviously, but there were difficult moments, of course, in all the games, and so then the boys helped him through. There were for sure a few games, I cannot remember them really, but where he was not at his top level, and then somebody else stepped up and made a decision for us, and so that helps, of course, that you don't, if you score this amount of goals, it could feel for the specific person like pressure. If I can't deliver, then we cannot win or whatever. So in our case, was so far very often, especially since the last few months, maybe not from the beginning, but we always found somebody else who could make then the difference, and so that's good for us, good for him.
In the context then of the rivalry with Manchester United, league positions as well, and obviously the aim to finish at least second in the Premier League, how big a game is this coming up?
I don't think that game needs any extra reasons to be a big game. It's the biggest game I can imagine, and so first of all, really looking forward to it, but how it always is in these games, are difficult as well. So, we need to be at 100%, if not even a few more, that we will get something there. But of course, that's the plan. So I think it's a good moment to go there, but it's still an unbelievably difficult moment when United has outstanding quality. We all know that. They have a home game, which we would say it's an advantage for us if we play at Anfield. And so now they have that advantage, and it's our job to level that, so that we nobody can see that. It's a very experienced team, very experienced manager. So, yeah, quite a job to do.
Do you expect Jose Mourinho to park the bus, as it's been termed?
I would never use that, but I think, of course, he brought it to England, right? The bird, the saying. Did he say it first? I read it a few weeks. He was not the inventor of the word parking the bus.
I don't know who invented it.
Okay. So maybe it's no. Okay, no, I would never use that. So in this specific game, so if I have absolutely no problem with defending, it's not. I know how the situation is in the moment, of what people are saying. They play a specific kind of football. We play a specific kind of football, and now it's everybody makes a big thing of it, but it's all about winning, and the only way, there are different ways obviously to win football games, but we have another history in the last few years. So the big rivalry is since ages, I would say, but in the last few years, obviously, Man United was more successful than us. That's the truth. And we respect that. It doesn't disturb the moment, to be honest, but it's on the other side, we respect that, of course. And and this United team has a specific way of playing football. That's all. And if we have to defend there, we have to defend there with all we have, and not gambling and thinking we are flying and play this and that against Man United. Nobody flies. They are too strong, physically too strong, tactically too strong. That's the truth. And so it's not a battle of systems or philosophies. It's two very good football teams will face each other. And when United will attack, I hope all my players are involved in defending, to be honest. And if somebody says then that was parking the bus in that moment, then we park the bus. I have no problem with that. But over 90 minutes, of course, or 95, 97 minutes, we want to bring our football on the pitch as well. And that's how we know difficult to cope with as well. to deal with, and that's the plan for this game. So, but I don't think there will be a lot of space in a lot of moments. I think it will be a big fight, how derbies are in general, how these games were in general, and but hopefully at the end with a positive result for us.
How does it work for your team then, in terms of playing against a team that overly comes at you to a team that overly stops you, probably like you saw against Newcastle at the weekend? How do you have to modify your team more?
No, not modifying. You have to bring the right things on the pitch constantly. Counter-pressing against such a strong counter-attacking team like United is so important, unbelievably important. Quick decision-making, fantastic attitude, a lot of things you need to be at your best. That's how it is. So it's easy to sit at home and really think about, yes, Liverpool scores like they want. What's not the case, but maybe sometimes that's the message delivered. And United didn't score that often, and so that's the thing. But there are reasons why they have still 2 points more than us. So that's it. And it's how I said. It's not. We don't want to show how good we are. We want to have a result, and that's the only reason why we go there. And the main difference is that we go there by bus. To all the other big games we have had in the Champions League or somewhere else, it's Manchester, so it's quite close. It makes it even more interesting for the local fans. But on the other hand side, we have to do our really good things, our important tools. We have to use them constantly. That's how it is. And then when we have the ball, we have to play football against a very strong side, and they are physically really strong. And and if they defend deep, it makes our life not easier. So that's how it is. But I don't expect that to be all the time like this, because they don't do it all the time. They have counterattacks. They have their own moments. They play football. And if you can win a ball in one or two situations of that and can use the space in their back, then would help, of course. But it's not one attacking team against one defending team. They have massive quality. I know that, and I respect that. But that doesn't change our plan.
Because there are less and less games, obviously, now left to play, how pivotal or how important could this be for you in terms of finishing in that second spot?
Look, we cannot see it like this, because it's yes, obviously there are 2 points ahead of us. So if we win, we have 1 point more. It's not a big decision for the rest of the season. If we draw, still 2 behind. If we lose, 5 behind. That's not nice, but it's not. It doesn't. We have to concentrate on the game. It's the only thing to have influence, really positive influence on your situation, is to win the next football game. And in this case, it's against Man United. We cannot think about that. Would not help. You can imagine that we really want to get there 1 or, in the best case, 3 points. So I don't have to talk about the table and say, look at this, boys. If you don't know, I can tell you. It would be really important. Really, that's the easy part of the game. Before games like this, the boys know, and now we have to show them, of course, still the football side of the game, but the emotional side of the game is 100% clear.
Do you just hope that it would be better than the last time here at Anfield? I know it was a draw, and it was a draw at Old Trafford as well. But in terms of people. We talk about this rivalry between the two, but in terms of watching as a spectacle, it wasn't that great, was it, at Anfield?
I can't really remember that game, to be honest. Too many games in between. I know that De Gea made a few fantastic saves, so we didn't play bad. We were not. Yeah, we were a little bit more. It was our home. We were more offensive, like Manchester that day, 100%, but not too offensive, because they didn't have many chances. So that's another very important part of the game. And so no, I don't. The last game against us is not really in my mind. Our game was not really in my mind. They played a few more games since then, and we did the same, and to different teams, if you want. Not only because there are 1 or 2 new players in. It's really rare that I use the last game for the preparation or a second game against a team because it's too much time in between. No, it's football, and when they will defend wherever they want to defend. That's how it is, and we have to try to create something and to protect our offensive situations. And if they attack, we need all our legs to defend these situations because the individual quality, how we all know, is outstanding. And they have a very good result with a not that good game, how they know, against Crystal Palace, being 2-0 down, but then having that comeback, that gives them for sure a big boost. And so now we face them, and it's really interesting. Will be really interesting.
You've been in a great run in the Premier League, Jurgen, but is the progress that you're making in the Champions League, can that give you, or the players, that extra little bit of confidence and belief to take into a game like this?
I don't think that we need an extra bit, to be honest, but yes, going to the next round is a fantastic achievement, how you could see. I think everybody saw Tottenham playing against Juventus Turin, and what it showed is, meanwhile in football it looks like you can buy nearly everything, but you cannot buy experience. Juve made their experience over the last decade, not with exactly the same team, of course, but a few parts of the game were involved over the whole decade. So, and we made our experience in the Champions League, thank God, in a rather positive way. That we went to the next round. That's really big for us, absolutely big. And but I don't think that we need to do the extra bit. Yes, the record of us quite good or okay against the big six or whatever, but that didn't help us when we lost at Manchester City. So, but I think since then we learned a lot. Even when this game was very different to all other games we played, because we played over 60, 70 minutes with 10 men, so that was not easy, and everybody knows meanwhile that's probably the worst place to be with one man down. And it was unlucky for us, but now we are in a different situation. We said, if you said in the last press conference probably a few weeks ago, we are a different team to the start of the season. That's for sure. We learned a lot. We learned a lot together. And now we have to use that. But we can't. This game is exceptional, of course, because of the history. But in the season, it's a normal game, a very difficult game. Because who can go to Manchester United to go there and think 3 points are already in the pocket? So that doesn't work. So we know that we have a chance. That's actually the best news you can get. Better will never get better news. And so then let's try and use this chance. That's all.
Jurgen, can I just get a team news check? I'm thinking specifically Henderson, Robertson, Wijnaldum and Klein.
Robbo is clear. Klein is still on a very good way. No further injuries since he's back. No other injuries since he's back. And Hendo, dead leg, right? Looked okay yesterday, to be honest. What was the fourth player?
Wijnaldum.
Oh, Ginny. Yeah, Ginny. Also on the way back, I would say, look good. So obviously they lost 1 or 2 kilo Ben and him, but meanwhile it should be okay. Again, it was normal in training.
So with Nathaniel, are you thinking that he may have a chance to be involved tomorrow? Is it more likely that he would perhaps play tonight?
We can be 100% honest. So that's the situation. We don't have any issues on the right back situation. You cannot come only because Klein is back but has absolutely no rhythm. Why should I make now changes? So Trent is doing really well, and for Klein it's very important that he still can build up. And if there's the moment when we really need him, that he's ready for that, then that's the situation. Nobody wants the player to have a long-term injury. But if it happens, then sometimes the things change a little bit in this moment. For the moment, Klein didn't lose a percentage of his quality, but he has no rhythm, obviously. No matches for one match in the last 9 months or so. That's for sure cannot be the same like it is with the other two boys, with Joe and Trent. And yeah, that's it. But he's close to match fitness, of course.
Jürgen, just how impressed have you been by James Milner's form of late, and how much does his experience help the team in high-profile games?
Impressed? Why should I be impressed? Millie is an outstanding player, so I'm not surprised. Yes, I'm not really impressed. It's his level. He can play really good football. He's a good footballer, to be honest. Yes, but the experience especially as a person in the dressing room is very important, very important. I mean, you always need this type of players, but on the other hand side, to be honest, I think it's a normal level what he should deliver, because that's his quality. So it's then the job for the boys to show that quality.
Stanley, finish it up. Jürgen, you have got 2 of the 3 most expensive African players at the moment in your ranks.
Most expensive?
Yes, the most expensive.
And the third one is?
The third one is Bukambu. He was signed in China last week. But 2 of the 3 are here.
Good.
What sort of attributes do you like about the African players you have here? And moving forward, the last time an African player won the Ballon d'Or was in 1995, George Weah. Do you see any one of your boys giving Africa another Ballon d'Or?
Is Africa waiting for the Ballon d'Or? Germany is waiting for that for the last 500 years, I think. So, yes, whatever we can do to help, we try to. You ask if I like the African player. Did you ask that?
Sorry?
If I like the African player.
The attributes that attract you to African players. That you have
to be honest, first of all, and that's the African players not different to all the other players in the world. I look for the football skills, and if they are there, then go for it. I had always a little problem, to be 100% honest, with the African Cup in the winter, because we only sign very good players. Means they can go be long in the tournament in the African Cup. That means they are out for 4, 5, 6 games in a very decisive part of the season. I didn't like that. I'm the biggest supporter and fan of the new decision to do it in the summer. It makes life easier for all of them and will open the market for a lot more African players, 100% for all the big leagues in the world of football. So, but yeah, if we can help to bring Sadio and Mo closer to the Ballon d'Or, we will try.